أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بفضل بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الذي علا في توحده ودنا في تفرده وجل في سلطانه وعظم في أركانه فطر الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأراضين بأبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآله وعلى أهل بيته الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. First of all, we thank Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for gracing us with this opportunity and this moment to acquire the understanding of our faith and to seek to perfect ourselves and to become better human beings as per the teachings of Almighty Allah and the teachings of our beloved Prophet and Ahlul Bayt al-Ismati wa Tahara. I thank Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala once again for making it possible for each and every one of us to witness the last few days and the last few nights of the holy month of Sha'ban, the month of our beloved Prophet, leading to the holy month of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the month of the ummah of our beloved Prophet, which is the holy month of Ramadan. We are no doubt living in unprecedented time, a time which is unique in its own feature, a time which is challenging. As a believer, as a Muslim, and as a lover or follower of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, we get inspiration from Ahlul Bayt to see positivity in each and every challenge. We have two things here. We are in a lockdown almost all over the world, and at the same time, the holy month of Ramadan is approaching and is coming very, very fast to us. This great month of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So therefore, our topic of discussion is to look at ways and means of making good use of the lockdown, as well as making good use of the holy month of Ramadan. The verse I've just quoted, my dear brothers and sisters, is Quran 13, verse number 11. Known verse, if not to all of us, but to most of us. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in this beautiful ayah of glorious Quran tells us, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma bi qawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Said indeed, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will not change the conditions of people until and unless they change what is in themselves. Now, departing from this beautiful ayah, and bearing in mind the lockdown, and of course, welcoming the holy month of Ramadan, I want to go into this discussion, into this topic, through the following stages. Number one, I'm going to look at positive change. Number two, to look at how man is a changeable personality. And number three, which will be the last stage of my examination, is to look at practical ways and means of bringing about positive change. Now, we are in a lockdown, as I mentioned earlier on, and we are heading towards the holy month of Ramadan. I personally believe if we truly want to make the best out of the lockdown and the best out of the holy month of Ramadan, is to try as much as we can to seek to change ourselves positively. is to seek positive change, either socially or spiritually or whatever way possible, to try as much as we can to bring about positive change. I believe if we have this mindset of bringing about positive changes in our lives, then we will be preoccupied during this lockdown, and will be preoccupied during the Holy Month of Ramadan, and we will be able to realize by the end of the lockdown and by the end of the Holy Month of Ramadan, we are able to achieve maximum achievement and maximum success. And so therefore, positive change is crucial and is a very, very important. And Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, in this ayah that I quoted earlier on, is trying to highlight that there are two types of people. We've got people who yearn for positive change, and then we have got people who are stagnant or stagnated or who are stuck. They don't want to think or hear about change. Hence, Allah is very clear here, and kindly pay attention, my dear brother and my dear sister. Allah is saying, I will not change your condition until and unless you change what is in yourselves. So long as you and I are determined to change what is in ourselves, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala will come with His mercy, with His benediction, with His blessing to make it possible for us to realize that change. Now look at this. Why positive change? I said positive change is important because when Allah created insan, He created us as changeable personalities. What does it mean? Meaning, we do have potentials to change. We have the power to change. We have the ability to change. How? Look at the tradition reported from our beloved Imam, the first Imam, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Imam mentioned beautifully that when Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala created animals, He blessed them with desire and imagination without intellect. And when Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala created angels, He blessed them with intellect without desire and imagination. But when Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala created insan, meaning I and you, He blessed us with intellect, desire, and imagination. Hence Allah in glorious Quran makes it very clear. وَلَكَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي Adam. Indeed, we honor and cherish the children of Adam. Why? Allah honoring us. Why Allah cherishing us? Because we are afdalul makhlukat, as you know, we are the best of all creations or creatures of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And this is because we do have the intellect, we do have the desire, and we have the imagination. This is what scholars refer to as choice or as free will. So Allah granted us these forces and these mechanisms, not for the sake of granting us, but He granted us these mechanisms so that we use them wisely to achieve positive change and perfection in our lives. In lockdown, many people are saying that we have enough time on our hands. I said no. If you truly want to change positively one thing in your life, it could be your relationship with Allah you want to change. It could be your relationship with human beings you want to change. It could be your relationship with earth you want to change. So long as you identify what you seek to change, you realize that you will be occupied and there will be no free time anymore. And one will stop saying, let him kill time. Let him kill time. I have enough time. Allah created us changeable personalities. This is the first rewire. The second point I want to indicate, to emphasize that we are changeable personalities and we have the ability to change, is that, you see, if you examine the make of insan, the creation of insan, you realize that insan is ruh, made up of 4 tools. Kindly pay attention to this point. You are a ruh made up of 4 tools. The first tool is what? It's akal, intellect. And if you look at intellect, intellect changes. Intellect grows. Intellect is not stagnant. Hence you find a verse in Quran. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala makes it very clear. حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة قال ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says, insan grows until he reaches 40. The moment he reaches 40, he becomes matured, he gains more wisdom, and then he will start praying and asking Allah, أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي. Ya Allah, grant me the blessings to be grateful and appreciate your mercy. So the first tool of our ruh is our intellect, and intellect is forever changing. Your intellect, or the level of your intellect when you were 10 years, is completely different from the level of your intellect today. The second tool of our soul is our heart, qalb. And if you look at the heart, heart also changes, isn't it? How does heart change as per the teachings of Islam? It's either it becomes clean or it becomes dirty. And the Quran makes it very clear. يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. He said those who truly believe in Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, Allah will instill steadfastness in their heart. And of course, if you look at the heart, sometimes you are in a good mood, sometimes you are in a bad mood. So heart also changes. Why don't you aspire to change positively? That's number 2. Number 3, tool of our ruh is space and time. I mean, we cannot live life without space and time. And if you look at space, space also changes. If you look at time, time also changes. And our lives evolve around these tools. So if these tools are in constant changes, why don't insan aspire or be inspired to seek positive change? Now, after this, let's go to the next stage of our examination, which is the most important. As I said, just look at your life and ask yourself, what change do I need to make in my life? Because I'm not Masoom, you are not Masoom. Even Masoom, the Holy Prophet of Islam, made dua. He said, Rabbi zidni ilma. Allah increase me in knowledge. Although Rasulullah's knowledge is ilmul ladunni. It's knowledge by presence. It's knowledge from Allah. But he kept making dua. Ya Allah, increase me in my knowledge. Likewise, Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam. So therefore, if they are Masumi and they continuously ask Allah to increase them, to make them perfect, what of I and you who are not Masumi? So therefore, I personally believe there are so many areas of our lives that we need to change. That brings me to my next stage of the examination. Change is required in our lives, but not every change, but positive change, as I repeatedly mentioned. Now, this positive change will only happen when a person is passionate about changing. If you are not passionate about making amends, about correcting yourself, about affiliating yourselves with Quran, for instance, affiliating yourselves with the du'as of Ahlul Bayt, about establishing your prayers properly, if you're not passionate about it, it will not happen. You've got the choice, you've got the akal, you've got the desire, you've got the imagination. So you need to have passion about change. Otherwise, change will not happen. One may talk, I want to change. But if you are not passionate about it, there is no way you will achieve the change you aspire to. Now, question, how do I go about bringing change in my life or in my family or within my friend cycles? I'm going to share with you practical tips on how to go about it. And kindly, brothers and sisters, when you have time after listening to this lecture or majlis, sit down, ponder, reflect, and see how best you can implement these practical tips in trying to bring about positive change in our lives. I always tell people, this coronavirus or the lockdown that we are all experiencing, it's not a curse from Allah. It's a blessing if you look at it properly. It's a wake-up call from Allah to say, you know what? My servants, do not take things for granted. My servants, seek to approach me. Likewise, the Holy Month of Ramadan is an opportunity for change. Every year, Ramadan comes. Every year, it comes. When it comes, Allah expects us to change, to become better human beings by the end of the Holy Month of Ramadan. Now, how do we go about the change? There are 5 practical steps we need to really consider, my dear brother and my dear sister. After identifying areas you want to work on. You want to work on your salat because your salat is not properly established. Some may say, you know what? My salat is properly established. I'm going to work on praying on time. I pray, but I don't pray on time. I'm going to work on this. Some will say, no, salat, in all fairness, I don't have issues. My issue is with Quran. I don't know how to recite Quran properly. Or I know how to recite, but I make a lot of mistakes. So this is a challenge. That one, then, after identifying, start working on. Some will say, no, my challenge is not spirituality. My challenge is a social challenge. Sile Rahim. Friend cycles. So I'm going to spend this time to seek to rectify and to bring about positive change in my life. Some will say, no, my problem is wasting my time on social media throughout the night, spending time on my phone, on my gadgets, not doing something productive. I think this is an area I need to strive as much as I can to bring about change. Some will say, no, I realize in my marriage, there are issues. So I'm going to use this lockdown and the Holy Month of Ramadan to try to bring about changes. Some will say, no, between me and my father, between me and my mother, or my siblings, we have issues. I'm going to try as much as I can to bring about change. I'm just giving examples. Some will say, no, in my studies, I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of challenges. Lockdown is here. You have enough time. You've identified that's your problem or that's your challenge. Use it and seek divine intervention in the Holy Month of Ramadan to be able to bring about the change you aspire. Some will say, no, you know what? When I look at my life, I think I'm okay. Then I will tell that person, you know what you need to do more? Enroll on a course. Study more. It could be Islamic courses. It could be secular courses. Enroll. Improve yourselves. So therefore, you need to sit and do a bit of self-introspection. Dig down into your hard drive to see where you stand, my dear brother and my dear sister, and prepare yourselves adequately to welcome the Holy Month of Ramadan. Now, to bring about positive change, number 1, you need what scholars mention, tajdeedu taqa, energy renewal. If one cannot renew his energy, I will explain what does it mean. Then forget about positive change. I'm not talking about change for the sake of changing. I'm talking of positive change. A change that will make you a better person. That will make you a better human being. A change that will make you loved more by Allah. A change that will make you loved more by human beings. A change that will make you more responsible to the universe, to the environment. The first practical step is the renewal of the energy. What is the renewal of energy? Kindly pay attention, my dear brother and my dear sister. You see, the way Allah designed insan, He designed us in such a way that if we keep doing one thing without any change whatsoever to that particular thing, it becomes boring. Big time boring. Allah designed us in such a way that our system want change, want it to be refreshed from time to time. And this, I want to share something with you, which a great scholar, not a Muslim scholar, scientist, by the name Roger Esprit. Roger won Peace Nobel Prize in 1983 for an amazing work he undertook when it comes to the analyzing of the roles of our brains. He did three things. He said, number one, our brain is divided into two halves, left side and the right side. Then he said, you see, the left side of our brain wants routine. Left side wants one to be doing one thing now and then without any change. Wants you to be organized, of course, and to continue what you are doing in a nice way. But then he said, the right side of our brain, it requires changes. And it always pushes you to go for change. Then he went ahead to say that there are people who are only lefties and there are people who are righties. Here, I'm not talking of those who write with left or write with right. When you talk of lefties here, I mean those who want to just focus on what they've been doing and they don't want to hear about any change. 5 daily salats, they don't want to hear about namaz Shab, for instance. They don't want to hear about the recitation of dua, for instance. No. The way our mosques is run, Imam Bara is run, they don't want to hear anything about change. They are lefties. They want routine, and the routine has to continue. Then we have those who are righties. They want change. They say, you know what? Why don't we become creative? Why don't we change? The righties, they don't want change for the sake of changing. They want a change which is properly scrutinized and properly studied. Then he went ahead to say, no, there are people who are lefties and righties at the same time. You know what? They go for routine sometimes, and sometimes they bring about change slowly. And I think that is the best way of bringing about change. You cannot change everything overnight, and you cannot dismantle the routine completely. You only look at the routine to seek to change it if things are not working properly. So therefore, to be someone who go for routine and go for change is the best option. Now, the first practical step is what? You need to renew your energy. Now, if you want to renew your energy or to be inspired on how to renew your energy, I will say, if you have children in the house, learn the 4 things from your children and pay attention. Once you are able to learn the following 4 things from your children who are infants, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, I promise you, my dear brother and my dear sister, you will be inspired to change. What do we learn from our children who are young when it comes to positive change or when it comes to renewal of our energy? Number 1, Children, they cannot focus on one activity. They touch your phone, you take the phone from them. By the time you get to that place, they pick up another thing. They go, they move that wire. Children always renew their energy. Hence, Rasulullah taught us, when children are of 7 years, they become the bosses and the masters of their parents, isn't it? Because Islam says, let them play. So as they play, you as parents or elders who are next to them, you don't just look at them as playing. Take inspiration to be able to renew your energy. And there is a beautiful riwayah from Imam al-Qadim, alayhi salatu wassalam. You know what Imam al-Qadim said? He said, روّهوا قلوبكم ساعة بعد ساعة فإن القلوب تمل كما تمل الأبدان. He said, refresh your souls hour after hour, because souls get tired the way bodies get tired. If you have to work in the whole day and night, how do you feel? Feel exhausted. Likewise, your soul. Don't give it only one food. As you continue with your prayers, add Quran. As you continue adding Quran, add namaz Shab. As you continue doing that, add tafakkur and tadabbur, where you sit one place, ponder and reflect about the creation of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, we learn how our children cannot focus on one activity to also try to renew our energy. That's one thing we learn from the children. The second thing we learn from children to be able to renew our energy is what? Children are inquisitive. Whatever they see, they ask. Daddy, what does this thing mean? Mommy, what is this? Chacha, mama, uncle, what is this? They ask. That's what they call ruh al-fuduliyah. Children, they've got this inquisitive mind. Sometimes our children ask us questions we can't answer, isn't it? But this is not for the sake of them asking. It is for you, as a father, as a mother, as an elderly person next to them, to be inspired to say, you know what? The way this child is asking, why can't I be inspired to renew my energy by asking about what I do not know, for me to increase my level of ma'rifah and understanding of the existence of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have a riwayah, beautiful, from Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, when it comes to asking in order to know and to bring about positive energy. You know what Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen said? Even Imam Musa al-Kadhim also reported this riwayah. He said, Man tasawa yawmahu fahuwa maghbun. Said, if your 2 days are equal, then you are a loser. In terms of growth, you are a loser. You are working in a company. This year, you break even. Next year, massive loss. You are a loser, you've lost. Likewise, in my salat, in my ibadah, if today, when I pray, I feel good, but tomorrow, I don't feel good, then there's something wrong. If last year's fasting is excellent, this year must be super excellent. If this year is excellent, then you have achieved nothing. So therefore, man tasawa yawmahu fahuwa maghbun. If your 2 days are equal, then you are a loser. Now, children, they keep asking to inspire us to also renew our energy by asking. Number 3 thing that we learn from our children to renew our energy. Remember, I'm only on the first point, the renewal of our energy. Children, they've got what scholars call ruhul ibda', the spirit of creativity. Children are very creative. You go to the market, you go to the shopping mall, you buy them, a doll or, artificial aeroplane, if you like. You bring it home, it's dismantled, you leave it with your children, they will keep trying. By the time you realize, they assemble that aeroplane or a car or whatever. So when we see them doing this, we need to learn from them to renew our energy. And that is really, really very important. And Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen makes it very clear, my dear brother and my dear sister. He said, divide your times into 4 hours, isn't it? The first hour, for the sake of Allah, connect with Allah. Salah, namaz, shab, Quran. Another hour, Imam said, spend with your family. Another hour, he said, seek the rizq of Allah, your sustenance. Rosa. And then the last one, he said what? Spend it in lawful entertainment, not unlawful entertainment. So therefore, the third thing we learn from children, they are what? They've got this creativeness. Why don't you be creative to wake up for namaz shab? Why don't you be creative to establish love with Quran? I and you are creative when it comes to our dunya. Why when it comes to Allah and Ahlul Bayt, we don't want to be creative? You know what? You can be creative and you can do it better. Just make up your mind and develop that passion. You will achieve it. The sky will be the limit, my dear brother and my dear sister. And the last thing we learn from children to renew our energy is ruhul mukhatara, the spirit of getting into danger. You know, children are not scared of causing danger. They can go and pull the wire of the refrigerator. They can go and pull the wire of the iron. A child will go and plug the iron when the parents are not there. So children, they are not scared of taking bold decision. Likewise, you as a parent, you as an elderly person who see this child putting himself into danger, don't be scared of taking bold steps in your life to bring about positivity. Lockdown is an opportunity. We have an ample time in our hands. I and you will regret if we fail to make the best of the time we have during this lockdown. And the good thing is what? It is linked with the Holy Month of Ramadhan. You know, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salat mentioned, in khifta shay'an faqafi, fa inna intadharaka la ashaddu min uquika. Imam Ali says, if you truly want to do something, then you feel like you become anxious, you're like scared of doing it. Can I do namaz shab, for instance? Can I organize brothers online Zoom to do something, for instance? When you start contemplating whether you are able to do it or not, Imam Ali said, that is the time you should do it. Because you waiting for it is more dangerous than doing it. So therefore, we learn how to renew our energy from these 4 things that we see in our children. So that's the first practical step, renewal of energy. Second practical step, an-nizam, order. We need order in our lives. We need to be organized properly if we truly want to bring about positive change. Lockdown, as I said, we have enough time. The Holy Month of Ramadan is coming. Start putting your 2 pens on a paper by having your own personal individual plan. Have your own timetable. How you're going to go about fasting and making the best out of the blessings of the Holy Month of Ramadan. Imam Ali alayhi salam made it clear in his wasiyah to Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba and Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and the rest of his children. He said, Usikuma. He said, oh, my beloved sons, Hassan and Hussein, I'm giving you my wasiyah. And this wasiyah is also for all my children. And he said, it is wasiyah for whoever will hear this message. What? He said 2 things. Have the consciousness of the teachings of Allah and be organized. Be organized. How do you become organized? I'm just going to give you a quick tip. Take care of the following need in your life, and you'll be able to become organized. Intellectual need, social need, physical need, and spiritual need. You cannot be a better human being if you only take care of your physical. What is physical need? My clothes, my work, my money, that's your physical need. Allocate time for that. And allocate time for your intellectual need. Read. How many books have you started reading ever since the lockdown began? Or how many books have you read so far? What's your plan when it comes to reading as we are entering into the Holy Month of Ramadan? Take care of your intellectual needs. Your business is not taking care of your intellectual needs, taking care of your physical needs. So have a book. Create a mini library of yourself during this lockdown. Buy books online. If you don't want to buy or you can't afford, there are a lot of PDF books. I'm not saying only Islamic books, but I encourage you more to go for Islamic books, because these are the books that we often don't have time for. So the second need to take care of intellectual need when you are making your plan, when you are making your resolution for the Holy Month of Ramadan. Because Ramadan marks the beginning of the year of self-building. The third need you need to take care of is your social need, isn't it? Your family relationship. I mentioned before, Sile Rahim. You and your children, you and your wife. Allocate time daily that you're going to spend with them. You're not going to spend the entire day with them and the entire night with them. Some must be for your business. Some must be for your intellectual needs. And of course, for the family. And the last but not least, which is the most important, which is in fact the point of departure, when you really want to take care of all the other needs, is your spiritual needs. Your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do you build that relationship? Quran, how many times you read? And how many times you reflect on the verses of the Holy Quran? What time do you go for your salah? So therefore, nizam is very, very important. You must be organized. Make your own timetable and stick it somewhere in your bedroom or inside the house or the sitting room. No, call your wife, call your children. Have timetable and follow that timetable. Really, if we don't have personal plan, we will waste this time. We are used to going to the mosque during the Holy Month of Ramadan. Recite A'mal, Dua Iftitah, you name them all. This year is not there. It's not a curse. It's a blessing in disguise. Maybe Allah wants us to take care of ourselves and to be able to individually connect with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So I don't want to belabor the point on this, but that is a need you need to take care of. And I promise you, my brother, you see, I've been repeating this because it's important. If you put your 2 pence on paper, you realize that, you don't have time to kill. You will realize you are busy. And by the end of the lockdown in the Holy Month of Ramadan, you'll be accomplished. That's number 2. Number 3 practical step to bring about positive change in your life and in my life, especially during the lockdown in the Holy Month of Ramadan, is what scholars call Aklun Jami'i, collective intellect. What is collective intellect? Meaning, befriend with the like-minded people. You may not see them because of the lockdown, because of the corona, but you've got your WhatsApp group. The group that you have should serve your interest and your purpose in terms of taking care of those 4 needs I mentioned: intellectual, spiritual, social, and physical. And you remind one another, not just randomly sending messages and bombarding people with corona messages and putting people in fear and panic. You need like-minded people. They call it Aklun Jami. These people, you share ideas on how to make the best of your time. Since now we cannot go back to mosque, or since we are unable to go to the mosque in these holy months. And Quran makes it very clear. تعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان. He said, assist each other in doing righteous things or in gaining righteousness, and do not assist one another in sinning against Allah tabarak. And Imam Ali said, Man shawara nasa sharaka fi uquli. Said, whoever consults others, he has combined his brain with their brain, and he has participated in their brains. So therefore, the third practical step is what? You may not be able to do it alone. You need friends. And if there are no friends, or no, you don't feel like your friends are like-minded, you and your family help each other. Discuss the progress. You've got your timetable. Are you living by that timetable? Are you living up to the expectation? Then you remind each other, you correct each other. That is also very, very important. Number 4 practical step. Aim high. My dear brother and my dear sister. Be reasonably ambitious. Don't be over ambitious, but you have to aim high. What does it mean that I should aim high, especially in this lockdown? I'm going to say to myself, I do not know when this lockdown is coming to an end. And inshallah, I'm going to try. By the end of this lockdown, I will read 5 theological books or philosophical books to understand about Ahlul Bayt. That is aiming high. Now you're going to say, you know what? I've been lazy in developing my business. Since now we are in a lockdown, I am going to try my level best to ensure that I will take my business to the next level, irrespective of the challenge. Aim high, but reasonably so. When I say reasonably so, meaning within your capability, within your boundary. You don't want to aim more than what you can bite. As they said, step by step, but you have to aim high. If you aim high, you know from this level A, I must go to level B. And from level B, I must go to level C. And the last practical step that will help us to bring about positive change during the lockdown or in the Holy Month of Ramadan is proactiveness. Ruhut tafa'ul. We need to be proactive. Alhamdulillah, some of us are proactive. But we need to be more proactive, my dear brother and my dear sister. Reactive or be reactionary doesn't help. You wait. When problem comes, that's the time you start solving the problem. You wait. When there are issues, that's the time you start asking, what is tawakkul? I need to do tawakkul. Be proactive in doing good or goodness. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, tafa'alu bil khayri tajidu. Or tafa'alu. He said, be proactive in doing good and you will find good at your doorstep. Be proactive in praying in the house with the family. Be proactive in reciting Quran. Be proactive in making sure you are following your timetable. Be proactive. And once you are proactive, Allah will hold your hand and will take you to the destination. And let me give you examples. Our beloved Imam Mawlai Kainat, Amir al-Mu'mineen, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. You know, Imam Ali, those of you who had the opportunity to visit Medina al-Munawwara or to undertake Hajj, you know, to enter Mecca through Medina, you need to get into a state of Ihram at a place called Masjid al-Shajara. Those who have been for Umrah Hajj, they know Masjid al-Shajara. It's a miqat where whoever wants to go to Mecca through Medina must stop and put on the Ihram or get into a state of Ihram. Now, this place used to belong to Imam Ali alayhi salam. And Imam Ali, what he did, he would come with one small date seed and he would start planting. And people will be standing somewhere and laughing. Ask him, Abul Hassan, what are you doing with this date seed? This desert, there's nothing here. Imam Ali said, he used to tell them rather, this place will become a date farm and there will be so many date trees that will benefit the Ummah. People used to love some of the people. That's proactiveness. That became a big date farm. And today is the mikat of the Ummah. Imam Ali gave it waqf, endowment for the usage of Muslim Ummah. And every Muslim who goes to Medina wanting to enter Makkah must go there. That's proactiveness. He did not allow others to discourage him. Amir al-Mu'mineen, salawatullahi wa salam. But if you look at simple examples of our lives, Thomas Edison, the one who invented electricity, how many times he tried? He tried so many times he failed, but eventually he managed. That's proactiveness. Don't give up. Don't sit and do nothing. Stop complaining. Be positive. Think positive. Sky is the limit. Allah is there for you. You all know about Shahid Bakir Sadr. When he was very young, he lost his father. His brother took care of him. At young age, his brother will instill in him, and he will call him Marja, great scholar. He used to just inspire the young boy. You're gonna be Marja, you're gonna be a great scholar. Eventually he became. That's proactiveness. The first Muslim chemist is Ahmed Zawil from Egypt. His mother, when he was young, she used to look at him and say to him, Dr. Ahmed, Dr. Ahmed, Dr. Ahmed. And people used to tease and laugh. Eventually, he became the first Muslim chemist. Proactiveness is very important, my dear brothers and my dear sisters. Once you are proactive, irrespective of the challenge, irrespective of the mountains on your way, you will get to the destination. And Quran makes it very clear. وَأَنْ لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى وَأَنَّ سَعْيَهُ سَوْفَ يُرَى. Indeed, the insan is nothing but his determination and efforts. And if indeed the insan undertakes efforts and put a lot of determination, that determination will be witnessed and it will be seen and he will eventually benefit from it. So Garrett, or the purpose and the aim of this lecture or this discourse is to first and foremost humbly inspire myself and to inspire each and every one of you, mu'mineen and mu'minat, brothers and sisters, lovers and followers of Rasulullah and Ahl al-Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, to say, lockdown is not the end of the world. In fact, it is the beginning of good things to come. To inspire you to say, there is wisdom behind every single challenge. To inspire you to say, reflect and ponder, you will see the wisdom. To inspire you to say, use the lockdown to prepare yourselves to welcome the Holy Month of Ramadan and continue with the pace. And in conclusion, my dear brothers and my dear sisters, discipline is the ultimate, it's the bottom line. In all these that you have just mentioned, you need discipline. Without discipline, one will not get anywhere. And as scholars mentioned, discipline goes hand in hand with strong willpower. You need discipline. In other words, you need strong willpower. Once there is willpower, you will move mountains during this lockdown. And you will be the best or one of the best servants or among the best servants of Allah Ta'ala. You know, our willpower need to be strengthened, need to be grown if we are to achieve all that I've mentioned. I just want to leave you with this because our time is nearly coming to an end. Be careful not to weaken your willpower. How do I expose my willpower to weaknesses. Consider these factors. Number one, negativity. Always being negative weakens your willpower. It makes you vulnerable. You don't achieve what you want. You will lack focus. Don't be negative. Be positive. And if you surround yourself with people who are too negative, it weakens your willpower, my dear brother and my dear sister. It's a long discussion on willpower, but I'm just giving you these tips because it's important. Number two factor you need to be aware of or worried of. A lot of doubts. That's not a tashkik. Too much doubt weakens your willpower. Give credit to what people are trying to achieve. You doubting everything, it weakens your willpower. Third factor that weakens our willpower. Anger. Anger is a good force, it's a powerful, it's a force of a soul. But overreacting, being short-tempered, can easily weaken your willpower. And that is very, very important. And the last but not least, waste of time weakens our willpower. Sitting, watching an unnecessary movie, having unnecessary discussion that are not productive, it weakens your willpower. Sleeping the whole day, it weakens your willpower. And so therefore, my dear brothers and my dear sisters, I wish you all the best of luck as we embrace ourselves to welcome the Holy Month of Ramadan. And I pray for each and every one of you that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala fulfill your legitimate desires in this dunya and make us worthy of being His true slaves and servants. And we pray to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to intervene on behalf of the people of the world as the world is navigating through this challenge of COVID-19. May Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala intervene on behalf of the people of the world and intervene on behalf of the medical practitioners and scientists who are trying their level best to reach out to those who are in need of them during this challenging time. We ask Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, mu'mineen and mu'minat, even non-Muslims who are not well and battling coronavirus, either in a mild way or in a very serious way. Ya Allah, make it easy for them and intervene on their behalf and cure them with your cure. And we ask Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, we those who are not affected or infected, may Allah protect us and keep us safe and make it easy for us. And we ask Allah to expedite the reappearance of our beloved 12th Imam and make us wealthy of being His true lovers and followers. And Ya Allah, make this Ramadan, this month of Ramadan, the best of all the Ramadan we had experienced in our life. And I say to you this, my dear brothers and sisters, stick to the rule of the game. The rule of the game is what your governments and the medical practitioners are advising you to do. If you are told to stay at home, stay at home. If you are told to implement social distancing mechanisms, kindly do that, my dear brother and my dear sister. If you are told to regularly wash your hands, kindly continue to do that. Remember to stay safe, keep well, and be positive. We shall survive this phase. بحق محمد وآل محمد. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى اللهم على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.